is a measurement of an individual's height in relation to their weight. Only candidates who have been certified medically fit proceed to the next stage of the selection process.
2549 Adebayo A. Sadiq.
Again, the dropped candidates are informed that should they be interested in knowing the medical condition that led to their being eliminated from the screening process, the AFSB would oblige them the information. And that will be done in strict confidentiality too. That again underlines the fairness of the Academy's Officer Cadets admission process. As further proof of its thorough nature, the screening process to select shortlisted candidates for admission into the Academy does not end with their medical evaluation. Next is a series of physical fitness tests, beginning with a 3.2-kilometer race that must be completed in a maximum of 15 minutes. Failure to meet the time results in disqualification. Once again, the candidates are admonished to refrain from exerting themselves beyond their respective natural limits of endurance, and also made to realize the dangers of ignoring this piece of invaluable advice.
Don't stretch yourself to the point at which your heart or your lungs will fail you.
After they have been documented, the candidates are assembled at the starting point of the race. The 3.2-kilometer race is then flagged off at the blast of a whistle, with the female candidates given a head start as a concession to the agenda. Here is the finish point of the 3.2-kilometer race. As the candidates sprint towards and into this rendezvous, military personnel manning the gates are under strict instructions to shut them on the dot of 15 minutes from the start of the race. As the expiry of the time allowed for the 3.2-kilometer race, the gate to the ground is shut, and those who failed to make it to the finish point within that limit are eliminated. For some, the pain of their near miss is too excruciating to bear.
Don't take it as if you have lost everything in life. It's not like that. Because time is always the best.
The arduous qualifying race is over, but not so the screening exercise. Since the through test of a person's physical fitness lies beyond demonstrating their ability to run a race within a stipulated time, the candidates who scaled the 3.2-kilometer race stage of the screening will undergo yet another round of physical fitness tests. This time, they will cross some obstacles of varying dimensions, which they must negotiate through different approved methods, both individually and in groups. During this stage of the exercise, inability to negotiate an obstacle smoothly or failure to comply with the don'ts of doing so, such as dropping or landing in prohibited areas, or failure to refrain from touching prohibited colors, could lead to the disqualification of a candidate, depending on the total number of infractions committed. Unlike the ones that candidates do individually, the obstacle crossings done in groups usually present propositions that are daunting and seem near impossible to achieve, just like most critical military tasks. The objective here is to test the character and leadership qualities of the candidates and their ability to successfully work together as a team to tackle difficult tasks. Usually, by the end of the obstacle crossing stage of the AFSB screening, the number of remaining candidates would have reduced sharply. Even so, the number left is still often more than what the Academy can admit. So, the screening continues, this time with a fresh round of written tests and oral interviews. At the end of the AFSB screening, The waiting game begins for candidates who made it up to the very end of their selection process, as they can only pray and keep hope alive, pending when they receive notification from the academy that they have either been offered admission to enroll at the institution or had been dropped. These are former candidates who scaled all the tough screaming hurdles and have finally been offered admission by the Academy to its 63 regular combatant course. Having been found worthy of admission to the Academy, they are now Officer Cadets. Here, standing on the parade ground of the Academy and physically bonded with one another by the touch of the shoulder, and as the cadets in the front row clutched the national flag, the Officer Cadets of 63 regular course collectively performed the ceremony that formally marks the beginning of their training at the Academy.
Obey lawful command. Obey lawful command. Of the government of the Federation. Of the government of the Federation.
The oath is administered on this site by the Minister of State for Defense, Erelu Olushola Obada. The oath taken affirms the willingness and voluntary commitment of the cadets to abide by the tenets of the military profession, which they had elected on their own free will to pursue a career in. The oath is a solemn promise sincerely made by the officer cadets, both as individuals and collectively, to bear true and faithful allegiance to their fatherland through the President, Commander-in-Chief, as well as an abiding pledge of unflinching loyalty to the Federal Republic of Nigeria. From this moment on, the conduct and behavior of the cadets are governed by relevant sections of the Armed Forces Act as well as the laws of the nation, meaning that they will henceforth be subject to both military and civil laws of the nation. Upon their arrival at the Academy to formally enroll for admission, first-timer cadets as fresh cadets are categorized in the Academy's military training lingo, or 100-level cadets in its academic lingo, are received by an officer of the headquarters, Cadets Brigade, which handles the documentation of new officer cadets and issues kits to them. They are subsequently assigned to the 4 respective cadets battalions of the Academy. These are Abyssinia, distinguished by the green-colored parchment on which the shoulder bars of its cadets are laid, and the color of the t-shirt worn by these cadets of the battalion. Burma, which is color pink. Dalit, brown. And Mogadishu, color red. Having been assigned to their respective battalions, the cadets also join their seniors in the residential accommodation blocks assigned to each battalion. An accommodation block complex is reserved for female cadets. The wings of the block are assigned in a way that distinguishes the female residents of the 4 respective battalions from each other, battalion by battalion. The new cadets had remained on the posted strength of the brigade headquarters for 5 weeks, during which they had undergone an orientation course on military training. This course is designed to break them into the tough regime of life in the military, particularly as most of them lacked any previous military training background. This phase of cadets training at the Academy is known as Preparatory Training. As the cadets shall quickly get to realize, from the date of enrollment till they pass out of the Academy, physical training shall remain a very crucial aspect of every cadet's life. Each cadet is therefore expected to be physically fit in order to withstand the rigors of both the academics and military training offered by the NDA. That certainly explains why the Academy has what is adjudged as both the best equipped and managed gymnasium in the country today. Here, cadets work out regularly to ensure they are physically fit and that their level of physical fitness is sustained all through the duration of their training course.
example of bacteria, you understand?
For the academic aspect of their training, the academic branch registers new cadets for 4 years of studies, leading to the award of bachelor's degree at the end of the programs to successful officer cadets considered deserving of the honor. So coveted is the honor of being adjudged champion battalion at the academy that cadets of that battalion are distinguished from their colleagues in other battalions with the colors of the parchment on which their shoulder bars are laid, as theirs is a combination of colors red and green, which are the academy colors. As part of the regimen of extracurricular activities at the academy, cadets are also encouraged to take part in various activities to reduce the stress of training. One of such activities is the Cadets Regimental Band, which now plays at the passing out parade of the academy and at its other major functions. Shortly, the band is expected to play major roles in the celebration of key national events. One of the expectations from officer cadets after they are commissioned is the display of high etiquette in the manner they conduct themselves in the various officers' mess of their respective services. To help products of the academy live up to this expectation, activities are organized similar to those that take place in officers' messes, with all relevant rules and regulations strictly adhered to. These include periodic regimental dinner nights and other mess activities, where cadets interact with officers to share experiences and also learn table etiquettes. For the effective blend of both academic and military training, the academy observes a ratio of 8:2 for the first 4 years of a cadet's training at the institution, except during the first 6 months when the emphasis is on military training and the ratio is 8:2, that is 80% for military training and 20% for academics. In all, that translates to 80% academic and 20% military training. Thus, military training for year 1 to 4 cadets comprises 20% of the total course content. The ratio is reversed to the ratio of 2:8 for academic and military training respectively in the final year when the cadets have already graduated, even as their convocation ceremony is yet to be staged. But how really has the academy been able to blend academic and military training in practical terms beyond how it is stated on paper? Here is how. The academic offerings of the academy are provided through 3 faculties, namely the faculties of engineering, science, as well as arts and social science. The Faculty of Engineering offers courses leading to the award of bachelor's degree in electrical/electronics engineering, civil engineering, and mechanical engineering. Faculty of Science in physics, chemistry, biological science, mathematics, and computer science, while arts and social sciences produce graduates in history and international studies, geography, economics and management services, languages, French, political science, and defense studies, as well as psychology. The academic year of the institution is divided into 2 semesters. 100-level cadets offer a minimum of 15 credit units per semester, while cadets in year 2 to 4 offer a minimum of 18 credit units per semester. The minimum total credit units required for graduation for cadets in the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences is 132, while 150 is the minimum for cadets of the Faculties of Science as well as Engineering. Final year cadets, already regarded as degree holders, but yet to be ceremonially awarded certificates, offer courses such as current affairs, typing, computer appreciation to make up the 20% academic requirement of their program in the 5th year. For the theoretical aspect of their military training, cadets receive lectures the same way they do during the academic phase. However, military knowledge and skills are imparted at the Academy Services Wing rather than the faculties. The Services Wing comprise the Army, Navy, and Air Force wings, each of which stands on its own. During this period of training, the cadets receive lectures in subjects that are common to the 3 services, which all the cadets must attend, as well as in subjects that are peculiar to each service, which are attended by only cadets of the respective services. The subjects categorized as common to service are drill, which is commonly referred to as marching by the civil populace, physical and health education, equitation, weapons training, map reading, general service knowledge, signal communication, computer appreciation, French, and typing. The subjects categorized as peculiar to each service are further classified into major subjects, otherwise known as majors, or minor subjects, also known as minors, depending on their relative importance. For the peculiar to service subjects, the outline for each service is as follows. For the Nigerian Army, the majors are map reading and navigation, individual field craft, while the third is tactical training. Minors are signals communication, service writing, and military law. For the Nigerian Navy, majors are navigation, seamanship, rules of the road, and flashing semaphore. Minors are communication, divisional duties, and nuclear, biological/chemical damage control firefighting. The Air Force's peculiar to service subjects are all majors, and they are air navigation, aerodynamics, air traffic services, ATS, and meteorology.
The undercarriage, as is referred to, is where the landing gears are fixed.
For the military training of cadets, the curriculum of the academy is designed on a year-by-year basis. In the first year, all cadets offer common to service subjects which were earlier mentioned. These subjects are essentially used as channels to introduce the cadets to the 3 services of the Nigerian Armed Forces. Taking the subjects together also fosters esprit de corps and comradeship, which extend beyond their years at the academy as a uniting force during their military careers, even while serving in different services. Now to the practical aspects of military training at the academy. As part of their practical military training, first-year cadets are expected to attend several outdoor exercises. These include one-day map reading, communication, as well as tactical exercises. In addition, the cadets also participate in 2 major exercises in their first year. The exercises are nicknamed Camp Initial and Camp Ozavesi. Military training for cadets in their year 2 is similar to that of the first year, the only difference being that the scope of the tactical exercise is broader, while an additional exercise of more robust intensity, known as Camp Highland Exercise, is included in the package. The Camp Highland exercise